keep it going in the background. Oh, what a song, man. What a track, what a track. What a lovely, not song, and nasheed rather. Yes. During the month of Ramadan, Elias Mau, my man, if you are streaming in, hoping you are, well, you should be, hey. I've been listening to your nasheeds, Rahman, and yeah, oh, I really enjoyed it. Hoping you did as well. 8 p.m. on the dot. Welcome back. This is Friday Night Live with me, ST Sarfaraz Takolia, coming to you live from our headquarters right here in Johannesburg, South Africa. This is Salam Media. Right. We are talking about some food now in the food segment. Normally we have the men can cook, but we had to make some alterations, regarding some regulations. But hey, nevertheless, the show continues there. So tonight we are going to be talking about the world's first anti-aging restaurant. Yes, the world's first anti-aging restaurant. I was like, what on earth is this all about? So this is all about painting a keto-friendly, a low-carb, and a sugar-free environment as well. Alhamdulillah. Now we're going to be chatting to the owners, founders, Tasneem and Abdulla Miya in a moment or so. And the world's first anti-aging restaurant is called Clenergy. They believe to feel good and look good, you need to eat good as well. At Clenergy, we guarantee that every item on the menu in our food emporium is free of refined sugar, low in carbs, and wheat free. I'm waiting to try and just get my team to get the guests online here. Gents, if you could just in the background there, they are endeavoring to get them on. So, have you been to Clenergy? I'd like to hear from you. Send through your feedback and comments on 061 766 0355. You can also comment down here below regarding your types of foods that you find healthy as well. And if you've been to Clenergy before, how clean did you feel? That's the question. On the camera on the line now, we welcome founders and owners of Clenergy, Tasneem and Abdulla Miya. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Good evening to you both. Welcome to the
Wa
program.
alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.
Great to be with us, and thanks for taking the time. Right. So, looking at something very interesting that you say, the world's first anti-aging restaurant. That's a killer line. I mean, if there's ever a salesman that has sold something, my man, I think you might even put Revlon or L'Oreal to shame, eh? In that regard. So before we continue about the dynamics of what your vision and mission is and what type of foods you offer, where was this inspiration drawn? I mean, nobody just wakes up one day and says, all right, I'm gonna decide today to create the world's first anti-aging restaurant. How did this whole concept come together? Let's start with brother Abdullah. Enlighten us
Okay,
before we
that's
get
right.
to
Yeah,
Tasneem to
I think
share
the
with
thing
us.
is this is something that both my wife, Tasneem, and I have on a personal level been eating this way. So it's
Okay.
something that many of our family, our friends have often said to us, it's so difficult to eat healthy. And we've helped, whether it's Tasneem with her friends or me with some of the family, in terms of this is how you can actually go about doing it. And kind of people find it difficult. It's a challenge to be able to eat healthy and still enjoy it. And so for many years, we on our different ways have been doing that. So that's it's been a journey that we've been on personally ourselves. And so kind of the time started to come in now where we went, you know what, more and more of our friends and family are saying, please, can you help us do this? And we thought, well, maybe this is the time to actually launch something like this. So you're absolutely right. It isn't something that you wake up one day and go, this is what I want to do. It's something that we
Well, if you
have
did,
been
my man,
doing
I'll
for
be like,
many
hey,
years.
this guy got some serious kush going on. I mean, hey, bro, maaf, bro, but you know, uh, no. So you know what? To look good, you feel good. You eat good, you feel good, you look good. It's a whole, dynamic, and it's a process. And as you mentioned there, you've been doing this and eating healthy for quite some time. Tasneem, I'd like to ask you. So, obviously, as a young female prior to getting married, I mean, were you always eating healthy growing up, or did this happen after you got married? And was this maybe between you and your hubby deciding, okay, look, we may be eating too much of oily, typical, authentic dishes, and maybe wanted to diversify? Or how did all this happen? How did you start eating clean, as I could say?
So yeah, basically with me, I was brought up, in a household where we were brought. My dad runs a karate and a gym, and he's been running it for over 50 years. Solly said. So we were brought up in a household that was always, mindful about what we ate and what we put into our bodies. So yeah, we were always, exposed to all the, the right kinds of foods. In the gym kind of environment, my dad never believed really in, putting people on a diet. So again, even with Clenergy, it's not about, this is not a diet. This is not something you're going to just eat, for the next 3 weeks and then you're going to go back to normal. This has to be a lifestyle change. And that's what we found. It has to be a lifestyle change. It's something you're going to have to, adapt your life towards and change your life, change your life to eat this way. So I was always brought up that way. I've always enjoyed eating healthy. I've always enjoyed my fruits, but I also had a sweet tooth, and I also enjoyed, having the sweet kind of the desserts and the good, the food, the sugary food, should I say. And a couple of years ago, I just realized that, what, something needs to change. It's not good for you. I read about it. I read that it's cancer breeds of sugar. Sugar is actually a drug. It's really bad for your body. Lots of diseases all come from sugar, and inflammation is one of the main things that a lot of people suffer with at the moment. And sugar causes inflammation. So when I read about this and did extra research, I found that, what, I think I'm actually going to try it on myself. And I like to do that. I like to try things on myself before I actually, talk to people about it. Or being a personal trainer as well, I have to advise my ladies and guide them. I do, gym classes for ladies only, and I have to guide them and help them. And it's only through, experience that I'd be able to do that. So I try and do a lot of, I did it on myself first, tried it for a couple of years, and then I was able to go, what, the results are actually, you can actually see them and you can actually feel them. So it's something that you need to do, cut sugar out totally.
Now, cutting sugar out totally, right? I mean, I've looked at your video that you got on the website there, and you open to obviously a bending free, keto friendly, as well as sugar free and low carb, right? When
Mm-hmm.
people hear this, this is boring food.
Yeah,
Where
they
am
think
I going to
chemistry.
have a dish? Yeah, or they're going to look at, I mean, looking at the website, I must say, this stuff looks really good. Eh? The chicken, beef, and fish. I mean, your menu and your meal plans. I want to talk about the offerings. Now that we've discussed, okay, the inspiration behind Clenergy. You mentioned coming from a martial arts background there. Abdullah, you better look after yourself there. I mean, Solid said some serious business going on here, my friend. Just now they launched a dojo
Sure.
there in your lounge. You never know. Hey, Kumate can go happen, eh? But anyway, let's not get kickboxed. um, Talking about your variants and your meal plans. So, does this work? I mean, how do I get a meal plan? So, I walk into your restaurant and say, okay, let's say I'm on a diet. Now, are you going to do like an analysis on the type of person I am? Or do I need to just tell you, all right, look, I'm looking for a bending diet, or I'm looking for a specific kind of a diet, a keto diet. So these are pre-planned meal plans that you have. What about a walk-in person, somebody viewing right now, never heard of Clenergy ever in their life, and decides, okay, hey, you know what, maybe Monday I'll go pay them a visit or whenever, but I really need to have a diet. So take us through both scenarios. How would
So
this work?
I think the first thing that we need to is, I'm glad that when you look at the menu, you look at it and go, it looks like good food. And I think the first step, and the big part of what Clenergy is about, is food you crave and foods that's delicious. So we've been very specific, is that in order to have a restaurant like ours, I want to be able to have a burger. I want to be able to have a pasta. I want to be able to have a pizza. I want to be able to have a bagel. So all of the foods that you would almost typically
What
have.
I'd like to call, I want to have naughty foods.
Exactly.
Since you
So
want to be
exactly.
clean.
So that is and in which includes
Yeah.
all the desserts. We've got tiramisu, we've got chocolate mousse, we've got banoffee tarts. We got carrot
Yeah,
cake,
I mean,
cheesecake.
I'm looking
So
at this here like, wow.
yeah.
And then we've also taken
So,
like your milkshakes, you know, so if someone wants to come in and have a burger and a shake, most definitely. We've got milkshakes. We've managed to get a sugar-free syrup that is sweetened with. So when we say sugar-free, remember, you know, our food's not going to have no sweetness to it. It's your refined sugar, right? So we are using your plant-based sugar. So for example, your xylitols and your erythritols, maple syrup, honey, your natural sugars that don't spike your
okay.
sugar level. So if you're
Now,
diabetic, right.
I want to ask something, right?
Mm.
Maybe somebody is on insulin type 1, taking an injection. There might be health experts viewing. We do have our very own doctors. Maybe I'm sure you know some of them, the Dr. Moti and Fatima Kur or whoever. Some, you know, cardiologist rocks up and says, okay, let me suss this Clenergy guys out. Certification wise, for those who've got trust issues and for validation and clarification purposes, who are you validated by when it comes to these types of meal plans that you are offering? Reason I'm
So
asking,
the
because
one, yeah,
people will want to obviously what's
Mm.
healthy.
sure.
You are offering seems to be the world's first anti-aging restaurant, a bold statement. So obviously this should come with some backing, just so people are clear.
Mm. So I think that what's very important is the first thing is we make no medical claim. Okay. So we do not make any medical claim, but what we are aware of, and we have certain medical practitioners that we have consulted with and that we do consult with. Just for certain clarity, etc. We have like a really good diabetic doctor that we work with. We have really good skincare as practitioners that we work with. We have a really good kind of anti-aging specialist that we work with. So we've got those in the as our support system. But very much, if like you said, if you walked in today and you asked us, this is what I'm looking for. We ask a number of questions, and the very simple questions is, firstly, are you diabetic? So if you are diabetic, then there are a number of foods that we know for certain that you cannot have. So we don't claim to be a diabetic restaurant, we claim to be diabetic friendly. So there's certain foods we will
Yes,
tell you straight away, please don't
keto
have
friendly,
the chocolate
painting
mousse
friendly.
because it's got maple syrup in. Maple syrup and honey are going to spike your sugar levels. So I think we have
Yeah.
a reasonable medical understanding, but we are not medical practitioners. However, if we need to kind of ask, get that consult, we've got people that we can relate to. I mean, for example,
No,
certain
just for the
items
sake
on
of
our
clarity.
menu are not keto and
Yeah.
banting. 90% of our menu is keto and banting. However, our fruit juices are not keto and banting because they've got a high level of natural fructose. So we do like to talk to customers. So you'll even see on our website, we've actually got a WhatsApp button, which we
Yes.
encourage people to kind of get in touch with us, because once we have much more of a one-on-one dialogue, when you talk about the eating plan, yes, we've got 38 or 35 different options. What we prefer is to actually talk to people and actually look for one that's much better tailored to their needs.
Now, looking at obviously something I want to talk about and to discuss ideally, in regards to indulgent foods and delicacies, etc. You mentioned something about tiramisu. So, what were some of the testimonials when it comes to anti-aging and when it comes to? I know you obviously you've launched around 2019, if I'm not mistaken, around there. Over the last, let's say, 7 months, what were some of your testimonials? People have come back and said, okay, look, I feel much better, I feel greater. What were some of the challenges that you've encountered thus far in obviously claiming to be an anti-aging restaurant or an alternate food outlet for that? And I see your meals cater for meal plans up to 7 or 8 meals at a time. So people need to factor that into their budgeting, that you're not buying once off, you're buying a meal plan. What were some of your experiences
So
in this 8 months
if I
based
just
on?
clarify before we answer the question, you can
Yeah.
order one meal from us
Off the menu.
off the
Okay.
menu. So you're not
Oh, so it's not
restricted. The
limited
meal
to
plan
or
is for people. So some people have come to us so the menu is like a normal restaurant delivery service takeaway. You can order whatever you want, a single item of
Right.
the menu. What we've done
Yes.
with the meal plan is that there's been a demand for people saying, please, can you look after me? Can you supply me meals for the week?
I'm diabetic. I have inflammation. I'm I have hypertension. So I don't know where to start. I don't actually know where to start. I don't know how to cook. Can you cook for me for the next few days? Send it to my office. I'll have it for lunch and then I'll have it for
Ah,
supper.
okay.
So it
Or
was
even
just before
somebody who's
lockdown
been
that we
on
found.
let's say I'm on a bending diet, then you'll obviously cater for a
Mm.
bending diet for my week. All right, fantastic.
Exactly. So
Right.
say like
So,
you in your family and your wife is unsure of how to actually
mm,
cook for a band. So she needs to cook for the kids and for herself. And now it's just too much of it. It's hard. It's not easy. Banters will tell you, you've got to go. There's specific things you can and you cannot buy. You have to read labels. You can't just buy anything off the shelf. So she's going to have to shop separately for you and shop separately for herself and the kids. So this is just going to, we're coming in where we want to make it easy. It's like, okay, you know what? You cook for yourself and the kids. We'll cook for your husband. We'll sort him out. We'll send his banting meals every day. So I had a lady that just came in yesterday and she bought 5 meals for her husband, banting and keto friendly meals for him so she can see to herself and the kids.
So I think that's just the thing that I wanted to clarify. So we are actually a traditional restaurant where you want a burger and chips, you can order a burger and chips, right? Which is a
okay.
healthy burger and chips,
And
by the
sweet
way, sweet
potato
potato chips. But what's happened is people have come to us and said, please, can you feed me for the week? And I don't want to have to worry about it and think about it. You take care of it. You kind of deal with it. And that is where we've then taken our menu and then put it together in combinations of weekly meal plans. So literally a weekly meal plan starting from as little as 75 Rand a meal, ready made, for 5 meals for the week. So Monday to Friday, you want 1 meal a week from us, 5 meals, 375 Rand excluding delivery. So that was more because our customers came to us and said, help us put something together for us. So we've taken the menu that we have and taken it one step further. But you want one single meal, you can order that.
Fantastic. It's great how you've rounded off that talking point there.
And in terms of
Just,
testimonials, I just wanted to go back. You asked, what
yes,
were people's.
yeah,
For me, the most rewarding one was a little girl came into my restaurant one Friday night. They actually live in Cape Town and with her mom and dad. And she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at the age of 8. She's now about 11 or 12. And she came in and she said, I just want to have a dessert. And I said to her, you can have our chocolate mousse. So she had the chocolate mousse. And the next day I bumped into, in fact, her mom took my number down and she said she was going to call me. But just so happened that I bumped into her and she said to me, my goodness, Auntie Tasneem, do you know what? I had your chocolate mousse. I enjoyed it. And my sugar, I didn't spike my sugar at all. I went home, I checked my sugar and I was all on par. So I can actually have your chocolate mousse. And for me, that was the most rewarding, thing to have a little girl that was actually able to have something that she really craved for. And because of her illness, she was unable to, but we were able to help her out.
Can I add one more testimonial for me, which has been really good, is we've had a lot of people come in because one of their partners, whether it's the husband or the wife, has forced them to come. And they've actually come in. And I've had people say to me, you know what? I didn't want to come here because I am not into eating healthy. But my wife forced me to come here, or vice versa. My husband forced me. I don't want to eat. I didn't really want to come here. And what's been really good is we've advised them what to eat. And then at the end of it, they've gone, I can't believe I've eaten healthy and I've enjoyed it. For me, that's been one of the rewarding parts. And what is also really interesting, a lot of guys have had the burger and then called later and said, you know what? I had it for lunch and I haven't had to eat supper. Why am I so full? And that's one of the things about the food. If you eat good food, good low carb, clean, is that you're eating very nutrient dense food that's still tasty, but that actually fills you up a lot more than the other foods that kind of just, bloat you and make you feel like you're full, but you don't stay full for longer.
And hence, obviously, you're going to have a much more regular need for food, you're going to have appetite and hunger as well. Looking at our Facebook line, it's 20 minutes after 8. We're loving the interaction from Salman David, Smiley Majam, Nur Fadila, Moatsad. That's all the way in Malaysia. We acknowledge you, sister, as well in this regard. Many people around the globe watching, obviously, in this regard. Now, obviously, in conclusion, Abdullah, I'd like to find out. Okay, so for those interested in your variants and in your meals and offerings, obviously during the lockdown, and we're now level 3. Obviously, there are certain restrictions. Are you partnered up with any delivery services? How's it operating? How can people get hold of you?
So yes, yeah, we are on Mr. Delivery, so you can order from Mr. Delivery with us. But that's just one part, because Mr. Delivery and your delivery services do a small radius. We also have our own delivery service, and literally we are delivering all over Gauteng. So from Lenasia through to Aldo Glen through to Benoni, all over Gauteng, we are delivering. We have our own drivers, and we will deliver to wherever you are in Gauteng. And obviously do it in a contactless way. Obviously, from Monday, you can actually do a takeaway, so you can come in and pick up. But because we also have Health Emporium, you can actually come in and shop in our store, which is at 51 Greenfield Road in Greenside.
Now, for those who'd like to follow you on your social media, what hashtags, Facebook page?
Clenergy South Africa. Simple.
So it's at Clenergy SA, or the full word South Africa?
SA or South Africa?
Yeah,
I think it's South Africa.
I think it's South Africa, yeah.
Well, anyway, just look for Clenergy and you'll find them on Facebook and on Twitter. Tasneem and Abdullah, Jazakallah khair for your time and for taking the time to join me this evening virtually. Usually we have the Men Can Cook segment where we have the food live in studio. So yeah, but that inshallah in the future, looking forward to that. Until we meet again, be safe and be clean. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Jazakallah. Thanks.
Ameen. That's Tasneem and Abdulla Miya, the owners of the first anti-aging restaurant, and they've discussed the concept of clean eating and the benefits that come with it. It is now 20 past 8.
Stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.